Ever gone mountain biking?
What do you want to be when you grow up? What's the right tip?
Have you called a plumber to your home lately? How superstitious are you?
How much money would it take to make you spend a night in a cemetery? Would you display this as a trophy? Do you have a pet? Do you have a sweet tooth? Do you believe in the power of a curse?
Have you had your hearing tested?
I gotta go, dog. I'm riding a road, y'all. I think that I'm back in my bag now. So I need that go, y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of Real Business Roundtable. Shout out to Janet T. Zoo, and shout out to my lovely mom for getting me this cup. Powdered Toast Man. And then today's non-sponsor, once again, is Jocko Willink, the Jocko Go Energy Drink, Zero Crash, balanced energy, increased focus, and supports memory. Not a sponsor, just showing some love. Now, today, we're going to talk about questions and answers from viewers.
Hell yeah.
So let's tee this up because
this is an early morning recording. We've never recorded this early.
Today, we're going to go over some questions that came in from viewers. If you always remember, if you have any questions, just shoot us a DM, shoot us a text if you have our mobile phone number. Let's see. Here we go. All right. So the first question is, if you could give every entrepreneur one financial habit to build before they hit 1 million in revenue, what would it be?
Yeah, don't give in to temptation. So like, and one thing I'll say about that is like when you get like real money for the first time, even if it's 100,000, when you like hit that number, you're like, okay, like let's go spend some of this money. Just don't do it. You know, like reinvest in yourself in a way that's going to help you continue to build the business instead of going out and, you know, buying a fucking, you know, Mercedes or something like that. You don't need all that. You don't need it. It's not necessary unless you're in certain situations. It's not necessary. That's one big thing I'll say, because like, I know like you'll hit like, you know, maybe 200,000 or something like that, or like you'll want it. You'll be like, oh, it's easily affordable. Let's get it. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it until like until you hit that, you know, a really, really solid number. And then you're like, okay, this is just, you know, it's gravy, you know?
From an income standpoint, just try in the beginning when you first start a business to roll as much revenue as you can or profits as you can back into growth.
Yeah, that was my second point. Yep.
Back into growth. Now, what's growth? Investing in things that create more attention on your business. Investing in advertising, investing in promotion, investing in salespeople, investing in maybe, if it's a service, bringing talented team members on board. It's very, very tempting in the beginning. Oh, wow. Hey, I just made $1 million in sales, and let's say you have $400,000 in profit, right? It's very tempting to live above your means. Above your means means like, instead of getting, and I'm speaking about someone just starting out. You know, if you like BMW, maybe getting a 5 Series rather than a 7 Series. Maybe getting a 3 Series to start out, right? You don't have to go all out. You don't have to go crazy. Instead of getting a 3-bedroom apartment, get a 2-bedroom apartment, maybe a studio. Just live like one step below your means. Control, like, you're over it. Just like a business. Well, personally, you should just kind of control your living expenses and make sure that you can handle any hills and valleys that do come with business. That does happen.
Because I have $30,000 in credit card debt. When they call, I tell them I can't pay it back yet.
So the best advice I could give someone is don't let temptation take over, and invest those resources into feeding your fruit tree.
Yeah.
Nurturing it, watering it, giving it sun. And that means taking some of that money, rolling it into advertising. We have seen people start a business, do really well with us, calling us going, wow, you know, da-da-da. And then out of the blue, they're like, yeah, pull back. And
the only thing that changed was that their lifestyle got extremely lavish, and they did like all these different massive purchases. And then all of a sudden they're drowning in you know, in loans and in mortgages and in finance, you know, vehicles and all this stuff. And, you know, if you're making $40K a month or whatever it is, or you're making decent money, the all of a sudden your lifestyle went from, maybe having, $5K in bills or whatever to $20K in bills very, very quickly. That's a huge thing that happens to a lot of people, is they don't realize that these things add up quickly and that money's never going to stay unless you make it so that it does, unless you set yourself up so that it does. Now, we talked about passive income a little bit in a past episode, and I'm not the biggest fan of passive income, but with the way it's defined or how it's set up or how people sell it to people, passive income. But if you're making good money like that, you could easily create passive income for yourself through means of investing, means of, whatever. Investing is a huge part, or like growing your business even more to a point where you can create that income that is passive, but you have to reinvest that money. That's a huge thing. I like, the thing is with when you start to make good money, you want it to become almost an addiction to watch your cash flow and become like a master of like allocation. Allocation's huge, and I'm not going to get into it now, but read about it, learn about it, find out the best strategies with cash flow allocation and money allocation, whatever, and become a master at that for your business, because it's only going to benefit you at the end of the day.
Here's the next question. What's one financial decision that looked conservative but unleashed growth, and one that looked aggressive but sank opportunities? I have one. Sank opportunities. I already know. Let's go down memory lane. And this can be applied to anything, but I'm going to give you a real life business example. We were contacted by these. Well, we'll first start with the good financial decision that looked conservative and it unleashed growth. I was contacted by a business development person. He had a really good voice.
It's beautiful.
That's the first thing I listened to, because that's my background, hitting the phones. He called me and I was like, wow, he's got a very friendly, welcoming voice. Maybe he could help me. And he calls me, he's like, hey, this is my company. This is what I do. I'll nurture your leads. I'll talk to them and I'll get them to agree to meet with you face to face, which is insanely successful for us, is a face-to-face meeting. So I was a little cautious and I was like, all right, I'm going to give this guy a shot. And I thought it was very conservative. It was very, very affordable. And the gentleman is very good at what he does. Shout out to Paul, by the way, if you're watching. So he would set me up with these meetings. And when I did the analysis on the ROI, I was like, wow, it's actually significant. And it was successful. Hence, I've been working with this guy since 2018. So that was one that I thought was conservative, and it was very successful. Now let's talk about.
You're talking about. Okay, and
yep.
Okay.
Now let's go back down memory lane and talk about those two guys we worked with. Remember, they were like, dude, we'll.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
We'll get you in.
Let me read the question. Wait, go. You go into. I know what you're talking about. Go into that.
So we found another vendor, same industry, and I was like, hey, let's double down. Not looking to replace, but let's double down, because this group, their approach was a little bit different. The conservative option did more. Hey, I'm going to call this lead for you. I'm going to nurture them all over the phone. This other group was mainly email, texting. They would reach out on LinkedIn, ping them a little bit, warm them up, and then get them to talk. That one, even though at face value, it seemed interesting because it had a different twist to it. That one was an absolute disaster. It was the no-show rate was obscene. I think the no-show rate was like 80%. I can deal with a no-show rate of like 40, maybe 50%, because I have a high close if I actually meet with somebody. So I met with one vendor, conservative, was very successful. One vendor that was expensive, not conservative, that was a friggin' total flop.
I would say one, and this is kind of interesting, but one decision that looked conservative but unleashed a lot of growth was travel. And the reason why I say that is because
Pardon me?
Like
I agree.
seriously,
I'm
though,
agreeing with you. Yeah.
When you and this is like a huge thing for me. When you stay in your circle as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, when you as a business owner stays in your circle, there's only a limited amount of opportunity. But when you travel and you get out there and you go to conventions and you go and shake hands and you walk into businesses, you meet so many people, and these people can open up massive opportunities, and you wouldn't even ever know it. I mean, it was a regular, like, okay, let's go to this area. Let's go hit businesses in this area. Let's expand a little bit. Let's get our feet wet in a different area in the United States. Doing this led to massive millions of dollars of opportunities. I mean, it's huge.
Yeah, we would take a trip down to Florida and literally shake hands. Obviously there was hotel costs, food,
but that's
whatever.
Conservative. That's like, it's a travel cost. It's like conservative.
Yeah. And the payout was significant. We're driving around, talking to people, shaking hands,
massive,
dropping off information, having conversations.
And one thing led to another, and there was a massive, arbitrage situation, and it ended up being very fruitful.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome you to the word.
Is that wrong?
Bring it in.
Huh? Okay, fruitful. What? Fuck.
It's all good. I want you to cue the Fruit of the Loom logo. And you can show the two versions. And just to shine some light, there are the Mandela Effect 2 Fruit of the Loom logos.
Wait, and then I'm trying to think of one that was like an aggressive that sank opportunities. I can think of one, but it wasn't like that decision didn't sink opportunities. It was more of like other stuff.
Well, we had another one. We had another guy reach out to us. He's like, I'm going to do cold email outreach I'll get them all done in 2 months. It's been like 5 years.
Yeah, he promised a certain number and he's hit probably half of
that. Guaranteed a number, and we're like,
we canceled with him, and he kept sending us like.
I'm like, bro, it's been years. He's like, I have to finish the job. I'm like, dude,
hey, respect, but
I respect that, but I basically told him to pound sand.
That's interesting. Expensive that sank deals. I mean,
that guy was expensive.
No, a lot of the no, but that's like, I'm trying to think of like a totally different like investment. Like I'm thinking of the transfer thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But that didn't sink opportunities. I don't know.
And I have one more. I was contacted by an ad agency consultancy. And he was like, we have a network to give you all of this and that, and we'll help you scale. And I got sucked into it, and it wasn't cheap. And then I said, I was just curious. It was part of a private group on Facebook. And I talked to one of the members, and I was like, so I said, what do you do in revenue? And he told me, and I was like, I do way more than that. So he goes, oh, dude, you must be the biggest person in the group. And I said, so this is, he goes, no, man, this group is meant for individual consultants, not companies.
Yeah.
And I already signed, sealed, and delivered. And I don't know. Anyways, you learn from mistakes in business, you dust yourself off, and you move forward. All right, next question. Next question is, where do most entrepreneurs go wrong with pricing strategy?
Yeah, I mean, this is a balance between covering costs and almost greed. Like there's like certain aspects to it. Like you don't want to be too much, and it's very strategic in the market that you're selling to and what the consumers expect, right? You don't want to be the cheapest. You don't want to be the most expensive. You want to be right in the middle without, creating a thing where they're, I can find cheaper or whatever. What is that called again? Where it's like
they're shopping around,
but there's like a word where it's like you're positioning yourself to be cheaper than the competitor.
Commoditizing?
You don't want to commoditize yourself.
One thing to keep in mind, the mistakes that I see is sometimes entrepreneurs go, well, I'm going to be the super high price guy. You have to remember that your market, once you do that, once your price is high, super high, your market gets smaller. When the market is smaller, you have smaller groups of opportunities.
Niche.
Who are you? We are the knights who say...
Niche.
No, not the knights who say...
Niche.
The same.
Right? And it takes a very special approach to get in front of that smaller market. Now, if your price is too low, you have a bigger market, but then you're more of a volume play. My recommendation as an entrepreneur is to be the middle bowl of porridge, be priced fairly, and that way you're making some profit, but it's easily digestible by your clientele where they're not like, angry all the time about, oh my God, this is so expensive.
Now, this can be different for different products or services. Like honestly, maybe we should have a more in-depth conversation about this, because like if you're a software company, right, and you're looking to get investments, now you want to be cheaper than the competitors, and you may want add-ons or products that make you more money. That it's interesting. That may be a new episode. That
you
we
have to
talk
factor
about.
also, and if you have an exclusive product that's special, and you tell them, "Hey, I'm only going to give this to you in this whatever," that increases the value of it. So when something is more scarce, you can ask for more, especially if there's a lot of value. You have to keep that in mind. If there's a lot of value that you're providing and it's on an exclusive basis or it's a very limited thing, that increases the demand and the value at the same time, and you can command a premium price point. But always keep in mind that if your sales are a little too slow, you might want to look at somehow cutting some overhead.
Before raising your prices.
Cutting some overhead, because you have to make sure that the business is profitable. You can invest in growth. You can pay your employees. You can pay yourself. And those are the really important things that you have to cover as a baseline. What are 3 metrics every founder should obsess over before they think about scaling?
Cash flow. Overhead is kind of similar.
Before scaling.
Yeah. Before scaling.
Before
market.
Make sure that you have a viable product or service, that it's working. Second thing, make sure that the whole entire business, you can pay your overhead. You can, like I said earlier, you can pay yourself and you can invest in growth, right? You can pay your employees, and it's a proven system. When you build a business system from marketing to sales, to closing the deal, to fulfilling the customer, supporting the customer.
The entire journey.
The whole entire journey. When that is a proven system, like McDonald's. Now I'm thinking about a double quarter pounder with cheese, ladies and gentlemen. I need to focus. Now, when you have a proven system like McDonald's, you can then replicate it.
And scale.
Replicate, okay? But don't keep replicating or setting up new locations or expanding too fast where you can't facilitate. Then you have a problem, right? Yeah. You want to build the system, make sure the business is operating properly, so then you say, okay, if I feed this beast more money, I am set up to be more successful, and it's proven. It has to be a proven system.
Yeah. So I'd say the cash flow, including like overhead and cost and margin and stuff like that. I'd say market. Make sure you understand your demographics, so you're targeting the right market when you decide to scale. If you scale and you're not targeting the right people, it's not going to work. You're just going to be wasting a bunch of money. And then the journey, the customer journey, or the system, the system you have in place. Make sure that there's a blueprint and it's scalable and repeatable, and all that good stuff.
Another question. What do I tell my boss or partner if they want to cut the marketing budget? This is an issue sometimes where if a business hits a very like a slow season or a slow time, let's say it's an election year, we all know that bullshit. If the boss or the owner or your partner goes, oh, let's pull back on marketing, the question is what to say to them.
Well, I wouldn't see. The thing is I would just go right into the analytics. If there is a marketing person and they can give you numbers that it is good and it's all green, then I would just show them that and be like, why would you cut this back? This is a silo of business coming in. If you cut this back, you're going to lose on a possibly massive section of business. That doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. So with this type of thing, you want to show numbers, you want to show analytics. If it's a digital marketing thing, you want to show, hey, how much traffic is coming to the website? How many people are engaging our content? How many form fills? How many calls are coming in? And if you can present your case to your partner or your boss and go, look, this has got eyeballs on us right now. We don't want to pull back. We might want to change the user experience or look at the call to action or optimize it for conversions.
Or present something else that they can cut back on. There's some type of overhead in any business that you can cut back on a little bit to have more cash. It all depends on what the reason is too. Like if there's a reason and you know what that reason is, then use that as leverage. Cut back on this, not on marketing. This is a sales silo. This is something that we can cut back on and it wouldn't affect the product, service, or the sales coming in. Yeah, that's how I put it.
One more question, very similar to the other one. As a small business owner, how do I know when my business is ready for growth? Like I said earlier, make sure that the system is running, make sure that it's viable, meaning that there is a demand, people are buying, that your business has profit, that you're able to cover your overhead, and it's like a well-oiled machine that all you need to do is put more gas into it, which means growth. That's the best time to invest in growth, when you have a proven product or service that solves a problem and there is a demand for it and you see it gaining traction.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Real Business Roundtable. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please like, subscribe. We're going to do a lot more of these. I like these episodes, so send in your questions. Peace out. See you next time.